Negotiations. We're at the end of post-license class. This is the last session, except for your project, where you're going to do a presentation for the group. But tonight we're going to work on the key to this business. And any business, any relationship is negotiating. You're always negotiating. Everything you do, you negotiate at home, with the kids, with your spouse, you get to work, you negotiate with you're just negotiating all day long. You don't really, you just do it so reflexively, you don't realize you're doing it. But you're negotiating all the time. So that's kind of where we are. We pulling, one's pulling against the other. One of them's going to have to give a little, the other one's going to have to give a little. Maybe. You may be in a situation where I'm just not negotiating. Every now and then you'll have those people. No, I've made my mind up. This is what we're going to do. I'm not taking a penny less than that. Another one saying, my mind, this is all I'm going to do. I'm not paying a penny more than that. Well, we're going to talk about some ways to break that ice. Get it going. We're going to have what's called gambits. Well, I should have said why we're going to negotiate. Well, if we're in that situation and one said, no, I'm not going any lower, no, I'm not going any higher, well, we're either going to negotiate or we're not going to do the deal. Just that simple. It's not going to happen. There are things called gambits. Gambits are, it's like a gamble. You can use it or it can be used on you. And what we're going to do here is we're going to look at some of the things in negotiation. You'll be able to identify these things when they're used on you. And you'll know when you may be able to use them. And you may think, well, I could use that there, but I better not. Well, trust your gut. You may know I better not do this here. But we're going to look at Batna. Batna is a negotiating term, says best alternative to a negotiated agreement. So what is your best alternative? We're going to look at those. How do we open negotiations? How do we get them in the middle when they stall? What can we do to keep them moving forward? And then we get to the end of the negotiation. There's always that little, the very end of it, and I saw one yesterday, one of my agents called me and they got down to the last and he said, I'm just not doing anymore. And I had to remind him, well, you've got to make it easy for them to accept, here's the deal. They've got cold feet now. All buyers get cold feet. And they've got to have some kind of reassurance there at the very end that, okay, this is a good deal. And it may be something as simple as saying, whoa, you were really great to negotiate with. This was I had to give up more than I thought I was going to have to give up. Just feed their ego sometimes is all it takes. Sometimes they just want a little something. Can you change this? Well, it was some little something these people wanted to do, a little last request. Can you do this for us, please? I said, what's the price of the house? So he said, $830,000. Okay. What did they want you to do?
Oh, shoot.
But it's part of negotiating. They had got right down to you got to make them feel good about it. They made the right decision on this, and you just give them one more little something. It may have, I don't know what it was going to cost them to do it, but they had asked for 2 or 3 things. Some of them were big. That I said, was that in the contract? And he said, no. And how much is it going to cost to do it? He said, probably $10,000. I said, well, if they want you to do it, then ask them for the $10,000. Oh, okay. But it all boils down. You're negotiating from the time you set the initial price all the way through until okay, we're going to close the deal now. You're constantly negotiating. And y'all will get to play a little role play. Y'all haven't done that yet in this class, but y'all will get to just do a little role play, because once you've done it and try some of this stuff, you'll say, oh, I see how that worked. There's our Batna. All negotiatings talk about Batna as your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And sometimes your Batna, well, not all, sometimes, your Batna is probably your walk-away price. For the buyer, they're not going above this. They'll just walk away and find something else. And the seller, well, they've made their mind, they got their pie in the sky number here. But that's not reality. That's what they're hoping they're going to get. But their Batna is down here somewhere. They've already talked this out. Well, we really need to get $150,000 for this, but we could take $142. That's what we've got to have that to pay the cost and pay the mortgage and walk away with this without having to bring a check to closing. So it's going to be different for different people in different situations. But there's a bottom line there for both of them. Those are called anchor points. And everybody sets their anchor. And sometimes the anchor is going to hold. Sometimes the shifting currents will move you and the anchor. Now your Batna, if it's strong, like right now, we're in a seller's market. There are not enough homes on the market for people to have good choices. So they're having to take things they might not have taken a year ago. So right now we've only got about 4 months supply of houses on the market. Every one of them sold. So that puts the seller in a better position. They can put a price up here and somebody is going to have, it may be the only house in that school system that's for sale. It may not be the one they wanted. It may be more than they wanted to pay. But if they've got something there in the background, like I gotta have this school, then their Batna is going to be weaker. Now, on the other hand, we could have been back in 2008 when the market crashed. Well, we had 12,000 houses on the market here, and they were only selling about 1,000 a month at that time because people said, yeah, I'm just gonna wait this out and see what happens. And that put the buyers in control. You could come up to somebody then, they're asking 150, and you can say, well, it's worth 10% less this year than it was last year and 10% from the year before. I'm just going to wait, or I can give you 100 right now. And the sellers, maybe because everybody's losing their jobs, I mean, it was awful. The seller could have been 2 months behind on the payment then. Put them in a bad situation. Their Batna was really weak. The buyer was really strong. If I've got enough credit and down payment to get this house, I'm going to get it at a discount. I'm not giving you what you wanted. So your Batna, if you can improve your Batna, you're better off. You don't ever want to weaken it. Like slip up and say, yeah, we're fixing to get foreclosed on. Uh-oh, you just gave the other one a stronger Batna. These are called gambits. Gambit is a strategic move in chess. Y'all play chess? I don't either. They say there's different moves that you can make in chess, and people that know how to do it make these moves. Well, if you can learn these moves, you can play chess better. And if you can learn these gambits, you can negotiate real estate better. In fact, negotiate everything. We got opening, middle, and ending. They're all just a little different, but you don't have to use one in the opening. You can mix and match them. You can use 2 or 3 at once. Once you see how they are, then you'll say, oh, I see, I can use this one there. But the bottom line is what we said back in that other slide. You got to leave the other side feeling good about the deal. If they don't, then we're going to have problems. We're going to get to closing and things are going to maybe crash. So you've got to leave them feeling good about, okay, I really didn't take advantage of you. You didn't take advantage of me. We had a good deal. I mean, it was a pleasure working with you on this. Sometimes I just feed the ego a little bit and they're good. Here's the critical thing. Even if you never use one of these on someone else, you need to be able to identify them when they're used on you. Because I can promise you, they've been used on you. After going through and writing this course, I thought, I remember when somebody did that to me. And then you get to look at it more of them and say, yeah, that's been used on me a bunch of times. And then some of these we're going to see, I'm thinking, oh, wow, I've done that. I'll never do that again. So this class will probably be more valuable to you than the other 12 weeks you've already spent in here. So it's a bigger gamble not to know when it's being used on you. Here are our first 6. Let's see, I got my artwork out. We didn't have this in pre-license. We have more fun in post-license. But the first one's never make the first offer. Well, in real estate, the seller's at a disadvantage here because they're making the first offer. They're putting it on the market to sell. They can't just put it out on the market and say, guess what we're selling it for? They've got to establish a price, which is called their anchor price. It's really not an anchor at this point. They know they're not going to get that. No one ever gives list price for a house. So, well, right now they may because there's not enough to go around. So, if you're not going to make the first offer, I guess the flip side of that coin is don't accept the first offer. You'll see that. When you see where we're going with this, we're going to just dig on down. Seller, their list price, they ask for more than they thought they were going to get. Just right off. You've learned one of them. The seller is going to ask for more than they think they're going to get. You think it's going to be the other way when you make your offer? It's going to be less than you think they're going to take. This all fits together. One of my favorites, and I'd seen it, but it didn't register with me. It's the flinching. When somebody gives you a price and you just and you send them a signal. Yeah. Whoa, that's way more than, because they're not sure the price that they gave you, they're not sure if that's a good price or not. They thought it sounded good. The house is worth, we think we can probably sell it for $112. Why don't we put it on the market for $119? Well, you being the buyer, you've thought, well, probably $112 is about what it should be. And then when they say $119, you better go, whoa. Sending them a signal that they just way off. And it doesn't have to be much, just a flinch. Don't overdo it. Oh no, I can't believe you're asking that much. We're going to practice this one because this is one you can, once you do it, next time somebody gives you a high price, you'll just automatically do that. And you say, I learned that in real estate school. Got the reluctant buyer and seller. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then our vice, this is what our anchor points, that's the 2 points on our vice. What do you think this vice is going to do? And we're going to tighten that vice down. Get those anchor points closer together. So let's look at the first one. The seller, that's their pie in the sky number. They know they're not going to get it, but they've got to at least put it out there. Then once they put it out there, that they can't go up from there. You'll never see a house listed for $99,900 and then 2 weeks later you see it on the market for $105. It doesn't work that way. $99,900 wasn't the right price. They weren't getting any offers. But some of them think, well, I can raise it up and people will think there's a bigger demand for it. No, it's not going to work that way. The first number you throw out there is going to be the big one. But you find out what all else they need. They got to be out by the end of the year because their job starts in January in Wisconsin. So if you can find stuff like that out, that's going to change your Batna and theirs. You know they're under pressure, time pressure. One of the worst things you can be under in this is time pressure. You've got to have objective facts. We did that on our pricing. We went through and looked at what others have sold for, like this one. Gather up your information, because that's what the appraiser's going to use, is this objective information. The appraiser's not going to say, yeah, that's a real pretty house. I don't know, 150? No, it's not going to happen. You're going to have your facts. Here are the facts. Here's what it's going to sell for between this little range. Now, I see the word greed up there. That shouldn't really be greed. That's just their hopeful number. They're just hoping it'll sell for that. Because they want to have a little room to negotiate. You hear every listing you will ever take. You're going to tell them, well, I think it's going to sell for 90. Well, why don't we put it on the market for 99? Well, why don't we put it on the market for 92 and somebody will buy it immediately. We put it on the market for 99, it's going to sit. And the longer it sits, the lower your initial offer is going to be. And people, after it's been on the market for 2 or 3 months, they're going to say, whoa, I wonder what's wrong with it. And what's even worse is it go under contract and then it falls apart and it goes back on the market. And then everybody else is looking at the history and say, well, I wonder what was wrong with it. I bet the inspection came back and there was something really wrong and they won't even look at it. So price your properties right. Now, when you ask for an offer, they gave you that initial offer, and you look at that, 150,000. I just don't know that that's the value here. I've been looking at others, and I'm just not sure that's the right number. What's the best you can do? Question with a question. I want 99. Well, what's the best you can do? And now you're throwing it to them. Your number's not right. Tell me your real number. And just a lot of them, just right away they'll tell you, well, yeah, we were hoping we were going to get 99. We wanted room to negotiate, and we knew we were probably going to ask for a home warranty, and the roof is really old. We knew you were going to want a new roof. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. They're giving you more information, which is hurting them. Everything they say is hurting them. But what's the best you can do? Never make that first offer. Here's the deal. They tell you, well, we're thinking about putting our house on the market. We haven't listed it with a real estate agent yet. And you told me one time you'd like to have it. What kind of number are you looking at? Okay, well, we may think it's worth 110, but you've been looking at houses and you think it's worth 115, 120. And you may just surprise me by saying, well, I think we could go 115 on it. So you've hurt yourself right away. Anytime you give a number, you've kind of hurt yourself. So you want to not make the first offer, nor do you want to accept the first offer. So what are we going to do? Now here's the situation. You've listed a property for sale, and the neighbors don't really talk. That's just typical. I don't even know half of my neighbors. Been there for 15 years. But you've listed a property, and let's make you the neighbor. You live next door to the property she's just listed. Now the seller says, well, We didn't know this when we put the fence up. But since then, we found out the fence is about 6 inches over on the neighbor's property. And we had a contractor fence guy to come out and say, well, it's going to cost about $500. Take the fence up and move it over 6 inches. And we'd rather not have to go through all that. It's going to be inconvenient and $500. And can you go talk to the neighbor and see if you can work something out with them? Mm-hmm. Can you do that for me? Mm-hmm. You can. Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to be thrown in these situations. You're going to be negotiating all the time in this. Mm-hmm. Everything in there is a negotiating point. Mm-hmm. So let's just say you go over to her. Mm-hmm. What are you going to tell her? Or what are you going to ask her? What are you going to say? Help me out here. Come on. You deep in this enough.
Well, I would tell her that your neighbor is considering selling, and they found out that they're encroaching over on your land by 6 inches.
Okay.
And we want to see, what can we do about it?
Good. Good.
And then I'll wait on her reply.
Good. Mm-hmm. You didn't throw a number out there. Mm-hmm. All right, so you've heard what she's offered you. How would you respond to it?
6 inches on my property?
Yeah, 6 inches on your property.
Okay. And they're getting ready to put the house on the market.
Uh-huh.
So what is it they expect me to do?
Well, that could be, that's a good response. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. What do you want?
All right, so what would you tell her?
I said, well, we are willing to negotiate with you.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I'll wait.
Okay.
Okay, so what would that be?
What you got in mind? There you go, what you got in mind. Now see, you've got secret information here she doesn't have. Mm-hmm. You know it's $500. Mm-hmm. So you could say something like, well, maybe we could work out an easement, a written easement to where the fence can stay there. Mm-hmm. What would you want for that?
I want them to move the fence on their property.
That's fine.
Because you are shorting my property, so.
Okay. You want them to move the fence?
I want them to move the fence.
So what you gonna say?
Okay, I will go back to the seller and let him know that you would like for him to move the fence, and I'll get back with you.
Thank you.
Very good. So you've jumped ahead to a higher authority. That's one of our gambits too.
Okay. Back to the seller.
So you reading ahead.
No, I did.
Now that was good. Now we've established all this. We're going to come back to it. Now we guys said never accept the first offer. I think we're still talking about the fence here. Mm-hmm. No, this is on a house. You got an offer. You just listed this house, and you got an offer on it. They had it listed on for $200, and you got an offer for $190. Mm-hmm. Would you jump on that offer, or would you just take it?
No, don't accept the first offer.
Don't. Good. You're paying attention. Don't accept. I don't care what the first offer is. I'm not taking it. It's $199. No.
No.
If they go $199 this quick, you may be able to get them up above purchase price. Well, we got a lot of people looking at it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of them got the checkbook out. Mm-hmm. Didn't have any checks left in it though. But anyway, if you accept that first offer, what are they going to think? Oh, you accept the first offer. You're the buyer.
That I could have reduced the price a little more.
You could have offered less.
Yes.
Exactly. So now you're thinking, whoa, if they take that offer, I wonder what else is wrong. Mm-hmm. Why did they take that offer? Mm-hmm. First offer I threw out at them, they took it?
Anxious.
Yeah, what's wrong here? I'm just real suspicious now. Mm-hmm. I want 2 inspectors to check this house. Okay, now you've been back to your higher authority, mm-hmm. and the seller says, I really don't want to move the fence. So what are you gonna tell her now?
Well, the seller does not really want to move the fence, so we want to know what can we do? What are you willing to accept? What are you willing to do?
Good, that's good.
Okay.
How can we negotiate?
You're 6 inches encroached in my yard. So, it's gonna be a price.
Here's a hint.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cost. I'm thinking $1,000. You pay me $1,000
Okay.
for that.
She came back to you with $1,000. You can't accept it. You've
Okay.
got to go
I
back
will
to
go
your
back
higher
to-
authority again.
I will go back to my seller and I will get back with you.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Y'all still talking?
Mm-hmm.
You're not mad? You're okay? Everything's still moving along. That's part of this. You can't just say, idiot.
He's been on now for all these years and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you never knew it all these years.
Right.
All of a sudden you want $1,000 just to grant us a 6-inch easement.
And then I'm gonna take 500 and move it back over. Before they go to the closing.
That'd be a second.
Yeah, make me $500 right quick.
So you don't know the $500 number though.
No, I don't,
She
but I
knows the
find out.
500.
Mm-hmm.
But now you know 1,000 is something you could live with.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly you find out it's only gonna cost 500 to move it, you probably would hire the fence guys. So y'all get on out here by Friday, and I got cash for you.
I know.
Listing price. You always, no matter what you're selling, you always ask for more than you think you're gonna get. Y'all sold stuff. You don't say, well, what's the least I can get for this? No, you say, what's the most I can get for it? Well, look at that little house. $499,999. I should put 99 cents on there
Right.
too. You think maybe that's overpriced?
Of course.
Maybe. But it sets the perception of value.
Mm-hmm.
Once you throw that number out there, well, it's kind of like the others. It's maybe, I don't know, but that's going to give you plenty of negotiating room. After I found this picture and put it up there, I thought, well, that's just the rattiest house I can find to put on this example of asking more than you can get. And the first time I did this class, I said, wait a minute, that's on the beach. That's sitting on the beach.
Sure is.
It may be worth.
That's why I was looking at the land. I was like, if I saw something like that and that was the price, I'm thinking some oil under there somewhere.
Yeah. But it's on the beach.
Yeah.
But when you ask for more than you think you're gonna get, you're doing that anticipating somebody's gonna negotiate with you. Because they're not gonna give you, let's just say the beach is not back there. It's just sitting on a quarter-acre of land out in the woods. Maybe $999. Because it's gonna cost you to tear the house down. But it gives you room to negotiate. And when you do negotiate down, you're letting the other side win. They need a win. If you just dig your heels in and say, no, $499,999.99 cents, that's my bottom line. I'm not budging. They're never gonna feel good about the deal. Even if it is worth $500,000, they're not gonna feel good about it because they're gonna have to go back home to the spouse and say, I couldn't get them down not even 1 penny. Well, here's what you should have done. So you asked for more than you expected to get. Now recognize that. Y'all knew that was too much. So how are you going to counter it? You're going to give them a realistic offer and send them, here are the comparables. Here's what is sold all around here. They all sold for $3.99 or $3.80, $3.60. The market value on this on this property is here. I can justify giving you this much money. You can't just say, you idiot. Nobody's going to give you $500,000 for that property. You've already lost this deal. Because you belittling them and they're crazy and you're the only one with any sense. You can't go in like that. You got to be humble. You're dealing with egos, emotions that drives everything. And if you hurt their ego right up front, the price may be $4.99. And they said, take it or leave it. I don't care if you buy it. I'd rather you not buy it. I'd rather give it away and let you have it at any price. Watch for that ego. Here's our flinch. All right, they gave you that price. Yeah, that's what happened. You looked at that and the first thing you did was, are you serious? Surprise and shock. And physically, that was a little, just enough for them to know, whoa, that's not what they expected. They didn't expect you to take that first offer anyway. They want you to negotiate. It's a fun game to negotiate. But you saw it, you saw me do it originally, and then you've done it. Now, next time you see somebody do that, are you going to recognize it? You'll recognize it. And the way you diffuse it is saying, whoa, that was a great flinch. We learned that in negotiating class. I've never seen anybody do it so good. That was great. I'm going to learn from you. You got to don't put them down. Build them up. They did something good there. They went to negotiating class and they learned how to do that. And this was a good opportunity for them to test it. That was great. I love the way you did that. Same thing when we get down to the good guy, bad guy. We're going to talk about it again. Okay, here we are back with the neighbor. So what we're going to do, she asked for $1,000. And what are you going to do?
I'm going to go to the seller.
Well, first thing you're going to flinch.
Oh, okay.
Yes, $1,000. $1,000. Well, I'll go back and tell them.
Okay.
All right, now you have given her a signal. Thousands, way more than they thought they were going to have to pay for this. Your Batna is $500. You can have it done and moved for $500. Anything less than you'd like for her to say, well, a couple $100. That's what you really like for her to say. But she's up there, $1,000. No, wait a minute. Now, what are you going to say?
Okay. She offered me, she's telling me she wants $1,000 and I'm going back to my seller. Okay. And relay the message. Then I come back to her with a counter offer.
Well, you would come back with, what's the best you can do? Now,
so what's the best you can do?
$1,000. So by now she's called the fence guy. I'll move up for $500. So anything she gets over $500 is a profit to her. So if she knew that, if she had called the fence person, y'all both got good numbers to work with now, and y'all could probably get it down once you're on the same page. Now here's the reluctant buyer, reluctant seller, I should say. This situation, see the guy in the jacket there, well, both of them are in jackets because it's spring. And he's out there cleaning his boat up. He's getting ready to take the boat. He's just grumbling the whole time, I hate this damn boat. Wish I'd never bought it. Every time I get out here, it costs me money. The little guy walks up and says, you interested in selling that old boat? And the guy that was cleaning the boat, all of a sudden, that's the most prized possession he's got because somebody wants it. He can't just say, I'll give it to you. That's what he'd like to do, but we're in negotiating class. He's going to ask for what? More than he thinks it's worth, but being a good negotiator, he's not going to give him a price. He's going to say, well, I really haven't thought about selling it. My kids just love this boat. Every spring, the summer, we go out on the lake and we fish and we have fun and they just love it. And I just don't know if they could live without it. But if we were willing to sell it, what would you offer me? Okay. He should respond with, well, I just haven't really thought about selling it. I haven't really thought about numbers, but what would you offer? Or what would you take? Well, I just don't know. I just don't know the numbers on it. What have you got to have? They just need to bat that thing back and forth until one of them gives a number. It's going to be the seller saying, it's worth $20,000. And the buyer's over there saying, $20,000.
10.
Yeah, he may say, well, I was thinking more in the neighborhood of 10. But then that may have been a high price for it there. And now he is, where his anchor should be around 7,000 or so, the $20,000 number has pulled his anchor way over here now. So he's actually overbidding. He said, yeah, maybe worth about 10. Seller's, he gonna say, hallelujah. No, he better not. He better say, 10. I just don't know if we could part with. Man, that kids love this boat. It's the only thing we actually get to do together. It's fun family time. I just don't know if I could let it go for 10. What's the best you could do? And he may come back, both of them may go to negotiating school. I had 10, I just don't know if I can go more than 10. What's the least you could take for it? I just haven't really thought about the numbers at all. I just know, what's the most you could go? It's just going to bat it back and forth, and then finally there's going to be two numbers to work with. And from there, we can work it in. Or one of them's finally going to give up. Okay, we got another reluctant seller here. All right, you're renting a house, that house, and you just won the lotto. You got $1 million in your checking account right now. And you say, I really don't want to move from this house now. It's really nice. I'm paying $10,000 a month in rent, and I'd just like to own it. So you call your landlord over there and say, are you going to say, I just won the lotto, I got $1 million in my pocket? No, you're not. What would you ask her?
I would tell her, how much would you accept for this house? How much you're willing to sell the house for? I really like the house.
Well, I hadn't thought about selling the house. If you really want to buy it, how much would you offer me for the house?
See how easy this is?
Well, how much are you willing to take for the house?
Well, I hadn't thought about selling the house, so numbers, I just don't know at this time. So just let me know how much you're willing to offer me for the house. And
we can go from there.
And we could go from there.
And see how, just
so
once you,
well,
yeah, that's what you're going to do there until one of you says, well,
because I need to go and get the numbers.
I can give you $300,000 for it right now, cash money. I'll write you a check today for $300,000. Are you gonna take 300?
No, I don't
Probably
know
not.
about 300,000.
Now, I just don't think I can
No,
take that.
I don't think I could take
Now,
that.
what's the best you can do? So you've got a number. You got to build up from there, and she's gonna keep
Keep going.
pulling you up. Y'all may go back and forth and back and forth.
Okay.
This is the vice. This is where she's fine. You've said 500,000. That's the best I can do. Your response is, that ain't gonna work.
No. Well, you do know houses around there going for $1 million.
There we go. There we go. You're giving her. You're giving her
500,000 is not gonna be enough.
yeah, and that's the phrase. This just won't
It
work.
won't work for us.
That just won't work.
Yeah, okay.
You'd be surprised how often I use that. When people put us in situations, that just won't work. What's the best you can do? And that's what an anchor is. Once they say a price was 300, now that's the bottom anchor for you. But you not even know they're selling for over $1 million around here.
Yeah.
But you don't know she's only got $1 million.
I take it all.
You can hear her opinion. If you find out how much
Yeah.
she's got,
Just hand it over.
just give me a checking account number and I'll start writing checks off that one. But the squeeze is what we're at. The vice is a squeeze. That's where because a vice, it doesn't budge. It only comes in this way. The tighter you get it, the tighter, tighter, tighter. How much better have I got to do? Well, squeeze! Well, that just won't work. What's the best you can do? Now, let's just cut through the chase here and quit wasting each other's time. If you want the house, what's the best you can do? Because now you got me to thinking about selling it. I might just put it on the market. And you say, well, what were you going to put it on the market for? Now you tripped her up. She wasn't expecting that. And then she better come back, probably about $1 million too.
Yeah, I was thinking about 5, but I'll do that one. I'll do $1 million too.
Negotiating is more like a game. It's a chess game. And you learn how to move the little pieces around. You'll start living your life differently, actually. You will get more things for less and get more for the things that you have to give up. It's one of the things that we're going to go to in just a minute about if I give you something, the first thing I'm going to do is ask for something in return. But this is our anchor. Squeeze them down. The anchor is just where you say, that's not going to work. Let's just quit playing games here. That's not going to work. Give me a reasonable, real offer. We did that this week. We put a house on the market for $170. Next day I got an offer for $151. Seller said, that ain't going to work. Tell them no. So we told them no. And you think they said, well, what will they take? No, give us a reasonable offer. And it's going to sell, because we've already talked about supply and demand right now. There's not enough houses. There's a nice house, nice area, good school zone. And there's not but one other house in that whole community. There's 200 houses in there.
Wow.
We're not going to sell it for $151. That ain't going to work. Come on, come back. Give me something better. Give me a real offer. If you want the house, give me a real offer. And the flinch, that works on this one too. Remind them of the value. Objective information. Here's reality. There's only one other one in the neighborhood. School starts in 3 weeks. We may ask $175. All right, we did the first 6. What do you think about those? You like them?
Yeah.
Which ones you like the best?
Not accepting the first offer.
Okay, yeah. And that's reality.
Yeah.
If you accept the first offer, they're going to think, what's wrong?
Yeah.
So is that one you would use?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's look at the next group. We got some. We've opened the negotiations now, and we've got an offer. Now, we touched on higher authority, avoid confrontation. But we're going to look at the rest of these. Higher authority. Y'all ever had this one used on you? Well, I better check with you. Used it on her. I got to go check with the seller. That was your higher authority. No matter if you don't have you're the only one making the decision. You always need to have a higher authority. I've got to check with my financial advisor to see if I can move money around to make this happen. Or I got to check with my wife. That's a real one. You better not go buy that house without walking over and walking through it. No. That higher authority is always there. But you want to try to, if you ever been to buy a car, y'all ever bought a car? One of the questions they're trained to ask you, if we can make a deal today, is there anyone else that's got to approve it? That's what they ask you. They're trying to knock this higher authority out right now because they're going to beat you and work with you. They've been through this class 17 times. They do it every week. Higher authority. I got to. You know I can make my own decisions. No, you just hurt yourself right there in negotiating. Yeah, I'm so tough. No, you're not. You want to be weak. I got to go ask my wife if I can buy this car. You come home and say, honey, look at the new car in the drive. Oh, that's so nice. What'd you pay for that? It's how much a month? Where's that money coming from? Higher authority, they're always there. It's back to our, you're renting from her, and you say, yeah, I really would like for you to replace this old water heater. Tell her that.
I need you to replace the water heater.
What's wrong with it?
Okay, there you
Well,
go.
the water is not getting as hot as I need it to get.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would contact the plumber and have them come over and take a look at
The
it.
plumber is the higher authority here.
Yeah, I have them take a look at it and see if we need to replace it. And if we do, I take care of it. If not, he will fix it.
Look at there. You didn't tell her no.
Yeah.
And you didn't say, I'm moving out if you don't fix the water heater.
I offered to take care of it, right?
That's right. But you didn't say, yeah, I'll do it. But I'm going to refer to a higher authority. The plumber may get there. It's an electric water heater. It's got 2 elements in it. It's one of those big tall ones. And the plumber said, wow, I see what's wrong. This top element's burned out. It'll cost you about $50. I got one in the truck. You want me to put it on?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. You don't have to check with higher authority to do that. $50 to replace it. What, $1,000?
That house, yeah.
Yeah, that one's probably got 2 or 3 water heaters. I've seen them. The houses are so big that have 2 in them. Oh, now, so y'all didn't do this. Y'all were nice to each other, just the way you're supposed to be. You could have called her and said, I really need this water heater replaced. And she could have said, idiot, don't you know it's an electric water heater and probably one of the elements are out? You want me to replace it? No! You just live with the cold water. This is the way you diffuse it. Y'all have heard of the feel, felt, found? That's a common thing in just life. I can understand how you feel that way. I'd be tired of cold water too. Others have felt that way standing under cold water until they found there was a simple solution. one of the elements needs replacing. We'll get somebody over there and check that today. We'll make that happen. I'm gonna make a call right now.
Right.
See if we get the plumber over there today. Not, we'll get to you when we get to you. All right, they acknowledge their feelings. I understand how you feel that way. Others have felt that way until they found, felt, found. There's another one that it's not in our lesson, but it's called the HEAT. H-E-A-T is the acronym, is you hear them out. You listen. You empathize with them. You apologize for that cold water. Now here's how we're going to deal with it. Or how we're going to treat it. That there's what hear, empathize, apologize, and treat it. We're going to get the plumber out there. A lot of times people just want you to acknowledge them. All right, award comfort. The first thing you hear from the buyer, there's no way we can do all inspections on this rat hole in 7 days. If you can't give us 2 weeks, just forget it.
Okay.
That may be the best thing to say to those people.
Yeah.
Just forget it.
Yes, it's 7 days. It's there.
Yeah, the contract says 7 days. If it's such a rat hole, just say everything needs replacing.
Yeah.
You don't want this house, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to put you in the defensive. They're telling you they're seeing everything's wrong with this house. You should be just expecting right now that they're going to renegotiate the price. This, I think we got some more now. People that buy the ugly houses. We'll buy your ugly house. You think they're going to give you retail price for it?
No.
What's their offer going to be?
No.
Low? Aren't you you think it's worth $100,000? What's the ugly house people going to buy it for?
50. Yeah. A list. They ain't gonna give you a lot.
Well, if they offer you 50, you're just not going to.
No sales.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. But what they're going to do is they're going to offer you just about what they think you would take. And they know it's an old rat hole house that you think it's worth 100. They think if it was rehab, they could get 150 for it. So they can't give you 100 because they're going to spend $30,000, $40,000 to get it up. So they're going to say, well, this is what we do, and we've seen a lot of houses, and this one's going to cost, we're going to have to do this and this and this and this. Best I can do is 70. And you say, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
You're going to flinch first, and you're going to say, 70? Is that the best you can do? And he says, well, what'd you have in mind? And you say, 90. He said, no, that just won't work. We've got to do all these things to it for us to sell it and make a profit on it. And then you agree, okay, well, I only owe 50 on it. And I know it's in bad shape. Okay, I'll take it. What do you think is going to happen now? Think they're going to give you 70? Probably not. They're going to have their guys come in there and give you a list that long. Everything in that house needs replacing, repairing, tearing out. Nothing about that house is worth keeping. And they're going to give you this list, and they say, I'm sorry we said 70. It just, here's what's all wrong with this. The best we can do is 50. And you 50? You idiot! No. But that's the way the game's played. And then they may negotiate up to 60. If they have to, you may have already said, well, I'm glad I'm getting 70 for it. And you may be okay with the 50. If so, y'all got a deal and move on. But don't call them an idiot.
Not the first time.
When when you go to list someone's house, they need you. And if they didn't need you, they would call for sale by owner and say, hey, put it in MLS for me. I can give you $500 to do that for me. I don't want this agent. I don't need them. And they put it for sale by owner, and it's in there for 18 months. And they finally realize they can't sell it on their own. And then they call you, and you say, well, I may be able to sell it. Don't ever promise, oh yeah, I can sell it tomorrow. I got people lined up out here. The whole street's lined up with people wanting to buy your house, and I know them all. They do that. You'd be shocked how agents will, with like a puffing, they'll puff their abilities.
Yeah.
But you're talking to the seller now, and you say, well, this house is going to sell for this much, and our commission based on the services we provide is 10%. And they say, 10%? Well, here's what all we're going to do for you. And by the time you get through your list, they say, wow, I guess that is worth $10,000 or 10% or whatever you said. And they say, okay, we've got to sell. We've had it on the market for a year and a half and nobody's even looked at it. And you do the listing agreement and you're hearing all this and say, how about I get a bonus too if I sell it within 30 days? And they may say, okay, if you can sell it in 30 days, I'll give you extra $1,000. And you say, thank you. I'm just going to write that in right here. And you just initial that, sign at the bottom, and then you walk out the front door and say, y'all come on in, because you had them lined up out there already. You remember, you knew them all. You got them on speed dial. And they come in, and first one walks in the door said, I wish I'd have known this was on the market. It's been on the market for 18 months. Well, I don't go to for sale by owner. I go to Realtor.com or somewhere. I didn't even know this one was here. I want it. This is the perfect house for me. How much you want for it? $100,000. I'll take it. 2 hours later, you got a contract laying in front of the seller for full price. Are they happy with you right now? Probably, but are they happy with the money they're having to pay for this? No. Did you earn $10,000 on this? It only took you 2 hours. It takes me 10 months to earn $10,000. I just don't think that's fair. It happens. Especially you sell one fast. Now if you don't sell it fast and you got to work and they see you working, you're somewhere in between those two. But they're never, ever going to be happy with paying you what they agreed to pay you for doing the services you said you would provide. That's just the nature of the beast of this business. They want it until they get it and got to pay for it. And then they say, well, really, that's all you were worth right here. You don't get this big stack of $100 bills. You get these coins. Yeah, how about we renegotiate your commission now? And you'll say,
No, for real.
reinforce what you did. I performed the services you asked me to do and said you would pay me this to do it. We got another opportunity to work with them in a minute. Here it is. Okay, $10,000 worth of commission, but it comes to find out they got to do some repairs on this house. $2,000 worth of repairs. Who they going to look to for? Because they know you got money now. They don't have $2,000. After closing, they'll have some money, but they don't have any money right now to do the closing. To do the repairs. They're going to come to you and say, yeah, we're going to have to get a loan at the bank, and we just don't have the money to to do these repairs. But if you could cut your commission $2,000, we'd have money we're gonna borrow it from our brother-in-law or something. We'll have $2,000 we can give back to him. Can you help us out on that? That just won't work for me.
No.
I did my work. Now if I go back to my broker now and say, hey, I cut our commission $2,000, you okay with that? He's gonna say, that ain't work for me.
Yeah.
You're gonna use these in combination with others. But learn the moves. And then when it falls on you, you've got a plan. You know what your bottom line is. You've already spent that $10,000. In your mind, you've spent that $10,000 10 different ways. You say, oh, $10,000. We had one of our agents back during the summer. She got a $11,000 check, and she said, "Whew, I'm glad that came today because we're leaving for Las Vegas on Wednesday." Wow. She had spent the money before she got the check. And that's what you're going to do in this business. You think you're getting $10,000? You know where it's going.
I already know.
Now all of a sudden they want $2,000 of your money. You performed your job. That'd be just like you going to work and you worked all week long and gets to be Friday and they're writing out the checks and they say, well, we're going to cut $2,000 out of your check this week just because we need it. You need it too. You did the work. Don't fall for this.
So is that where you negotiate with them and tell them we're added to the contract and you write a $2,000 check because you're getting money, right? Because they sold the house. So can you add it to the contract where they bring money? Like it's a negative?
Everything's negotiable.
Yeah.
As long, like you're talking about, you'll advance them the $2,000, but you want it back at closing. You can do that. Legally, you can do this if everybody knows. You can't just slide this over under the table. You don't tell anybody about this, but after closing, you're going to give it back to me, aren't you? Promise, promise, promise. As long as everybody, the lender especially, will have to know that.
Because they need to write the check, right?
Well, it'll be coming from the closing agent.
Okay.
And that assumes, and you know what assumes mean, that assumes you got $2,000 to let them use. Do you? No.
We were doing hypothetical. We role playing.
Well, I'm glad you are. This is the one I used to be guilty of. I would say, let's just split the difference. Don't ever say that again. Never, ever, ever offer to split the difference with someone. That's a trap. You want to use the trap on them. Here's what happens. You encourage them. You don't say, let's split the difference. You encourage them by setting up the way you're talking to them for them to say, well, let's just split the difference. Oh, you know, the seller needs 60 for this. And you know, your offer now, we're at 55. That's right, you're offering 55, but the seller needs 60, and they're really, I mean, they're up against the wall on the 60. I just don't know how they can come down any from that. You got any ideas of what we could do? What could we do? You're 55 as you're offering, we need 60. What do you want to do? That's a great question. Always, in a lot of situations, you can diffuse it and get to the bottom of it just with that. What do you want to do? They want the house. It's a shame. We've worked on this so hard. We've been back and forth and back and forth, and it's down to $5,000. What do you think we could do to solve this? What do you think we could do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Come on, y'all play the game with me. Come on, let's just say, let's just split the difference. Thank you.
Okay.
That is I don't know why I didn't think of that. Split the difference. Wow. So if you come up to 57.5, we could do this deal. And they'll say, yeah. And they may say, if you come down to 57.5, well, you don't have the authority to come down to 57.5. You don't have that authority. You're the agent. What if you got to go to the higher authority? So you're going to say, oh wow, I'm so glad we're going to solve this now. You're going to be so happy in this house. It's everything you ever wanted. 57.5. That's just, thank you so much. This is just going to take a load off of everybody. Let me go check with my higher authority. And you don't need to do it just one phone call. You need to fight for them. Next day you call them back. Man, we were up to 2 o'clock in the morning. I was fighting for you. 2 o'clock. I mean, for 4 hours I argued with the seller. You've only got to come down $2,500. That's all you've got to come down is $2,500, and we can do this deal. We're only $2,500 apart. And they said, no, they can't do it. They just don't have, they owe more than that on it. They can't do it. What do you want to do? How can we solve this? What would you like to do? We've got so much invested in this now. What do you want to do? $2,500, that's all we're off. You've moved it $2,500 yesterday. So now we've got a new anchor point. Your new anchor point. We don't have a new anchor point. Ours is seller's still at 60. But you moved it yesterday because you said, let's split the difference. What do I want you to do now?
Come on up some more.
What do you want to do? We've worked so hard. I mean, I worked for you for 4 hours last night. I was begging them, just come down $2,500. Oh, what do you want me to do? Split the difference. see if they'll split the difference there. And then we're only $1,250 apart. Oh man, if I could have told them that last night, we'd have a deal right now. Let me go back to my higher authority. And then tomorrow, back around. I can't believe they wouldn't do that. I cannot believe it.
That just
Now's when you should say, that ain't gonna work for me. But you're so invested in it now, and you're only $1,250 apart. You're probably gonna say, I'm tired of this. They can take it or leave it. Or you're gonna say, I'm tired of this. I'll just pay the $1,250. I'm just sick of this. Either way, the seller won. I used to be so bad on this. I was the first one to say, let's split the difference. I'll never say that again. I'm going to pull it out of whoever I'm doing with. Let me just split the difference. Okay, we just went through this whole slide. Yeah, here we got, we're not going to role play now. We've role played enough. Let's move on. Got a hot potato now. A hot potato is a crisis wrapped in a drama. Oh no. Oh no. They've got a problem. What's their problem here? Oh, they don't have the money for the down payment. Oh no, they need, let's just say they need $5,000 for their down payment. That's a hot potato now. They just threw on you because y'all worked the deal out. They've been to the lender, and the lender says, you got to pay some closing costs, and they're $5,000. And you say, well, no, wait a minute. No, you didn't tell me that in the beginning. You said I could get in with no money down. Yeah, but that's no down payment. You still got closing cost of $5,000. Well, I don't have $5,000. And they call you and say, I guess the deal's off. We don't have the $5,000 for the closing cost. What can we do? Can we go back and ask the seller for $5,000 to pay for us? That's one thing we could. That's what you want them to do. Go back and let's open the negotiations back up. Not probably going to happen. We've already settled in on the price, and the seller said, "This is what I'll take for the house," and you've already agreed. This is what I'll pay for the house. What are our options? First thing we need to find out, is that really a deal killer? Are there no options for us? Is this just going to fall apart because of $5,000? There are always options. Don't you remember all the math we did?
Yeah.
There's always options. What are some of the options we could come up with? I believe I have them written down here.
Yeah.
Short-term loan. Remember you called your brother-in-law for some money to do the repairs? Maybe he's got $5,000 he can help you pay your closing cost.
Right.
Yeah, right. Short-term loan, you can go to check cashing place. I don't know if they'll do $5,000, but you can go to 10 of them and get $500 from each one of them. Or the seller. The seller may hold that $5,000 as a second mortgage for you. You want it bad enough and he really wants out of here. And if this is the last straw, this is the last thing we can possibly do. Your brother-in-law, you can't write any more checks. There's just no money anywhere. You went to your agent and said, "Hey, can you give me $5,000 a year commission to do this deal?" And you said, "No." Maybe the last thing, and the seller says, is there any other way we can do this? Because the buyer did tell you, see if they'll split the difference with us. And the seller right away said, that ain't gonna work for me. So the other option is get the seller to hold a $5,000 short-term note. All right, you go to the seller and say, how about you hold a $5,000 note for them for 5 years at 5%. What should you do here? They ask you to do something. The first thing you should do is ask for something in return. Seller says, "Well, I don't need that money right now. I'm gonna get a bunch of money. I can wait a little bit to get that 5,000. Your offer is 5,000, 5 years at 5%. What would you respond to that? Ask for something back. Say, I hear you 5,000, 5,500. How about we make it 3 years at 10%? Can you do that? And they're probably going to say, yeah, that'll work. We'll have to, not eat out very often, and we're not going to have any cash. But the seller will get what he wants, they'll get what they want. And we worked it out. It's a hot potato. First thing you got to find out, is it going to kill the deal? Well, in this situation, it may be going to kill the deal. It may be something like they want a new roof on the house, $5,000. Is that going to kill the deal? No, they were probably using that as a negotiating tactic. They were trying to get the price down $5,000, but here they're in a box. They can't come up with any more money anywhere, but they got to have closing costs now that they didn't think about. Uncle Henry saw the pictures on Zillow. He lives out in Wyoming. He knows all about houses. He's been in a bunch of them. And he's looked at the pictures on Zillow and he said, yeah, y'all don't need to buy that house. The walls are crooked. Well, you made the pictures of the house. and you just got this new camera, and they told you if you used a fisheye lens, you can get more of the room with that fisheye lens. Well, you know, a fisheye lens will distort, so the walls, you look at every picture on Zillow, the walls look like you're in a circle. And Uncle Henry saw that and said, "You don't want that house." So is this a hot potato? Is this something going to kill the deal? Because Uncle Henry up in Wyoming saying the walls are crooked? You didn't notice the walls being crooked. Wait a minute. But Uncle Henry, he knows all about houses. This is probably, it's a hot potato right now. Is this something going to kill the deal? No, because you've seen the house. And you can work around this one a lot easier than you can the last one. But my point on this is there's always going to be something that's going to pop up, and you're going to have to deal with it. Some are going to be serious, some are just going to be funny. The trade-off. Just a minute ago we had the second mortgage that we wanted the seller to pay. All right, well, seller, use this one. Trade-off. If I can do this for you, what can you do for me? Here's your offer, $5,000, 5 years, 5%. Okay, that may be okay. But when they ever ask you for something, always ask for something in return. 3 years, 10%. Or can we forget about the repairs you wanted done on the driveway? That too, let's throw that in there. I want 3 years, 10%, and forget about the crack in the driveway. Make everything they ask you have a cost to them. They want something, you need to get something in return that shows, because if you just give them something, it has no value. I said, well, they just gave that to me. Didn't cost me a thing. No, make it cost. Because when they ask you for something and it has a cost to them, they're not going to ask for a lot of things. They're going to say, whoa, last time I asked it, I needed that driveway fixed. And now I can't get the driveway fixed. Car's going to fall in that big hole. Something for something. Make it a high cost to them. Trade-off. The inspector came and it says, you probably need a new roof. It's going to be about $5,000. And this buyer, they beat you up every time they throw something at you, you have to give in. They're just really good at this game. And you didn't play chess, you don't know. They just keep throwing these things on you and you just give up. They need $5,000 for the roof. What you gonna say? Okay. No. Don't say okay. If you want $5,000 for the roof, what am I gonna get in return? Or how can I cut that $5,000 down? Because more than likely, well, let's just say the roof is 12 years old. Do you really need a new roof? We probably would say, I understand you would like to have a new roof. Let's get a roofing contractor or 3 to come out here and give us an estimate on what a new roof is going to cost. And hopefully they're going to be honest and say, why do you need a new roof? There's nothing wrong with this roof. It's got 15, 20 years of life left on it. That may be once you've got your I have trouble with that word, objective evidence. You've got that. We've got 3 roofers. 2 of them said you don't need a roof. I can't imagine a roofer ever saying that if you call them out.
I know.
Tell me about it. I need a new roof. Yeah, you do. This one's just, it can fall in a minute. But 2 of them are honest with you and say, you don't need a new roof. And the 3rd one says, yeah, I can put a layer on top of this one for $3,000, or I'll take it all off and put all new on for $5,000. Okay, you've got a $5,000 real number there, but you just really don't think it needs replacing. But this is negotiating. they don't want a new roof either. They want the $5,000. So can we work around this? What could we do?
If they want the 5,000?
Yeah, that's what they're after. They'll take the roof, but $5,000, they'd rather have that. Because they know the roof's okay. They're negotiating with you.
Yeah.
Give me $5,000. Well, if I give you $5,000, I want something in return. Or let's negotiate that $5,000. Because remember, one of the lessons we're going to go to is you got to leave them feeling good about the deal. Well, this roof is, it's got half its life left, and a new roof is $5,000. Can we split the difference? Don't you say that.
I was thinking that, but I wasn't.
That's how you
Because
get
that's exactly what I was going.
I can understand how you would want a new roof, but this one has got a lot of life left in it. How about we give you a $1,000 discount on the price? You're shaking your head. You're just going to say, yeah, 1,000, that'll work. I was hoping for 5, but I'll take 1. No. You're going to say, one's not going to work. But we could probably get by with 3. And you're going to say, 3? Are you crazy?
No. That's when you flinch.
Yeah, you flinch. 3?
What?
I can't go 3. We can't do it. The money's just not there. That won't work for us. And do 2. And they might say, 2,500? And you'd come back with, now 2's all we can do. They got 2. They got you for $2,000 just because they asked for 5. And you knew not to split the difference, or you'd be giving them $2,500 right now. No, you got it. You pulled it on down a little more. All right, we did our middle gambits there. Higher authority, avoiding confrontation. Which one of those did you like best?
Never offered to split the difference.
That's mine. That's the very one I picked.
Because it's easy to do that.
It is. You almost did it a minute ago. After just having the class, you almost did it.
It's easy.
Yeah, don't do that. You lose when you do that. All right, let's take us a quick break and then come back. All right, we had our summary on the middle gambits. Let's move to the ending gambits. Situated, we've already done that one. This was the kind of a recap of them. Here are the ending gambits. Sometimes I get ahead on the slides. Good guy, bad guy. Y'all heard of that one. Nibbling, very common. That's what you have. That's actually the negotiating from the inspection. That's a nibble. And you got concession patterns, and then sometimes we just got to say no. And then we got to make it easy for them to take the deal. And the writing contracts, that one's down the bottom because whoever writes the contract is setting the terms. So if you're representing the buyer, you want to say, yep, I want this price, and I want the home warranty, and I want the refrigerator, and I want you to replace the roof and the HVAC and the water heater and send me on a cruise. If you're writing the contract and this is what you want, if they accept it, that's the deal. So you've got a distinct advantage if you're writing the contract. Good guy, bad guy. Y'all seen it? May have even done it to people. This is another one like we had on the that first one where the flinch. Call them out on it. That was great. Usually on this one it's going to be like a husband and wife, and one of them really, really wants the house, and the other one's reluctant. I'm just not sure this is the right one. That the backyard's not as big as I'd like for it to be. They're the bad guy. And the good guy wants it. Well, there's not a good guy, bad guy. They're both bad guys. Don't think one of them's playing on your team. They're not. They're both playing you. So watch for this one. And when you recognize it, call them out on it. Congratulate them. That is, you know, we studied good guy, bad guy, but I've never really seen it used so well. I mean, you guys have your act down perfect. I mean, just, that was the way y'all were working me. It just, y'all, I congratulate you on that. And now you knocked them down. Let's get back to negotiating. And you'll see it. But you can't, you know, be confrontational about them. Well, why don't you like the backyard? You know, she likes the backyard. It's bigger than y'all said you wanted. You can't. No, you just gotta work along with it until you can work around it. One of them's gonna want something. They're gonna want a new refrigerator. Well, honey, we don't have a refrigerator, and there's not a refrigerator here. And you know, we can't afford a refrigerator right now. Oh, honey, don't worry about that. We'll work it out somehow. And then the bad guy's gonna say, well, what if you throw in a refrigerator? Could you get us a refrigerator if we bought the house? And what you gonna say? I'll present that to the higher authority. You know, you can't, oh yeah, we'll get your refrigerator. What kind you want?
I know.
But they're after something.
Yeah.
And one of them's gonna work kind of with you, and the other one's working against you. And you'll see it. The other one's after stuff. Give me. If they get the refrigerator, now they're gonna want a privacy fence in the back. You know, the kids are gonna be out here, and no, I'm just afraid they'll wander off. With this chain link fence out here now, with barbed wire on top of it, they're not gonna wander off from there. Well, that's not the kind of fence I really want my kids to be around. They could get hurt on that one. You know, those little prongs are pointed up, and they'll climb. I know they're gonna climb the fence, and they're gonna get hurt, and it's just gonna be awful. I won't be able to live with that. I want a privacy fence. 6-foot wooden privacy fence. That's what I want. Well, honey, I just, you know, he says he can't do that. Well, if he can't do it, then we're not going to be able to do this deal. 'Cause I want my kids safe. Good guy, bad guy. Watch for it. You recognize it. And then work with it. If that's what they gotta have, these are, you know, they got a refrigerator from you already. Well, you haven't given it to them yet, but you gotta go to the higher authority. They may end up with 2 or 3 things they want. Okay, now we've got our box built. How are we gonna deal with the things in the box? We're gonna go to the higher authority and say, here's what they want. The seller might say, give it to them. I'm ready to get out of here. Well, no, Mr. Seller, let's go through the negotiating class first. We don't want to do all that. We don't want to give them this stuff. And he said, I said, give it to them. Okay, that's what they tell you. But you're counseling them. They're your client. So how about if we do this, but we can't do those? See if they'll take that. And then you go back and, oh man, I fought with that seller. I mean, I told them how important the fence was to you, and y'all didn't have a refrigerator to keep the children's milk in. I told them all these things, and the roof, you know, the roof's really only 12 years old. He's not doing the roof, I can tell you that right now. But the refrigerator, the fence, he said they can pick one of them. He said, I'll do one of them. Okay. Well, we good guy, bad guy, gave us the box, and then we went over there and we cut off 2 sides of the box. Ended up having to give them one, but they won. We would have done that anyway. We would have given them a refrigerator. We don't want little kids not have fresh milk. But that's how negotiating works. They're going to ask for more. Now, had you just said, well, we got to have a refrigerator, you might say, okay, well, how can we minimize that now? Maybe we could split the cost of the refrigerator. Whatever they're asking for, you've got to get that number down. You're representing the seller. Now, if you're representing the buyer, you want the refrigerator, the fence, you want the home warranty, and you want give me. And I don't really want all this stuff. But if I ask you for more than I think I need, I'm probably going to be real happy when I get what I need or what I wanted. Nibbling. This is in inspection. This happens with every single inspection we've ever done. Oh man, after the inspector went through this house, I don't know if we can even buy it. There is so much wrong with this that we didn't see when we walked through here. I didn't realize all these things were wrong. He said these things are important, and if we don't get these fixed, the house may fall in. But he said there's probably $15,000 worth of stuff here. We could work with you cutting the price $15,000. Well, if it's a $500,000 house, we may have that kind of room that we could split the difference. But more than likely, you're in the $150,000 range, and they're wanting $15,000 worth of repairs. That's more than nibbling. That's gnawing on your arm there. But then again, they should ask for more than they think they're going to get. They always do. We always do. I do. I'm counseling whoever I'm working with. Don't give them full price. Don't do that. Let's offer them less. Yeah, let's offer them $15,000 less and test the bottom. Let's just see where they are. If we offer them this much less, they may actually come in and say, okay, we'll go right here. Well, how about we split that difference? Patterns of concession. This is another one that's a trap. You've got, you figured you put a little extra money in there to negotiate, and you figure you got about $1,000 you can actually negotiate with them on stuff. And they come back and they want this and that and this over here too. And you say, okay, well, we can do $1,000 on that. Well, if you gave all your money away up front, and that's such a big number, what are they going to think? They're going to think there's more. There's some more money there. If you give it away equally, 250, 250, 250, 250, you think there's maybe another 250 or three more 250s there? They seem to like that number. Let's ask them for another 250. The final concession would be a big one, but you're not doing that. It's 600, 400. They may say, how about you, there's some more. Let's ask 600, 400. Let's see if they give us another $300 or $400. All up front. And they thought, yeah, they gave me $1,000 that quick. Let's see what else we can nibble away. The increasing ones, don't ever do that one either. $100 concession, then $200, then $300. What they going to think next? There's $400 coming. This is the way to do it. If you've got to make concessions, make them progressively smaller to where they can see the pattern. The pattern is, we got 400, then 200, then 100. That's now, whoa, I don't know if we can squeeze them for 50 more, but they may try. But the pattern, you want it sloping down. You don't ever want it sloping up or even flat. You're sending a message with these. There's no money left. We're up against the wall. If we can't do it at this price, we're going to have to move on. And withdrawing part of the offer. Here we got the buyer wants $1,000 concession on the price. And they want that $700 home warranty because the inspector said there's just a lot of things wrong here, and they're peace of mind to know that they're not going to have to come up with major repairs. You know, they're really concerned about the air conditioner and the water heater, having to come up with, you know, money to fix that. But if you'll give them $1,000 off on the price and a $700 home warranty, we make this deal work. So what are you going to do? Here are your choices right here. You're going to give them the $1,000 and the $700 home warranty? And I see you shaking your head. No, I'm not going to do that. How about this one? You tell them no. You're not getting anything. Is that going to work? Probably not. Here's the one I would like. I'm not giving you the $1,000 discount and the $700 home warranty. You're concerned that the air conditioner or the heater may go out. I'll cover that for you. I'll pay that $700 home warranty to give you peace of mind, so you don't have to worry about those things. But we can't cut it another $1,000. That's more than we can actually cut. We're having to get in our savings account now just to give you that warranty. Now here we go. Just lay back. You gotta let them win. You can't just. You do that, they're gonna walk away feeling good about the deal. They'd really feel good about that one, but they would probably be suspicious. Why'd they give me all that? What's going on here? They may get cold feet now. This one, they won. They won the battle right here. You conceded that $700. That was enough to make them feel good, and you can go back and tell your friends, yeah, I got that $700 home warranty they didn't want to give me, but I told them if I didn't get it, no deal. That's what they're going to tell. But if they go back and tell their friends, and I couldn't get them down not even one penny, then everybody's going, I can't believe you didn't get anything from them. Make them feel good about doing the deal. That's what it is. Make them feel good here. Give them the opportunity. It may just be something as simple as, I really enjoyed negotiating with you. I mean, you're one of the best I've ever been up against. I mean, you knew what you were doing. You didn't give in. I mean, it was a pleasure working with you. I'd like to do another deal with you, and maybe I'll win this time. Feed the ego. People got big egos. And if you just give out a little food, it's happy. It's part about writing the contract. If you are the one that wrote the contract, ask for everything. Everything. Discount, home warranty, new air conditioner, new roof. Just give me everything. I tend to like clean offers better. I don't want you to ask me for the refrigerator and the roof and ask me for all these extra things that are all hidden down in the contract. Just give me a clean offer. What's your bottom line? Then that we can work with that. You're going to come back and nibble me anyway. I know it's coming. Give me the number you really are willing to pay, and let's negotiate from there. Don't say, yeah, I want a $10,000 or 10% discount and $10,000 worth of gimmies. Get rid of the gimmies and say, I want a $20,000 discount. Now we can work with that better. We can split the difference. That's the end of our negotiating gambits. That's how we got into the negotiation, how we worked through it, and then how we wound it up. Now, how about some closing techniques? Y'all want to learn some closing techniques? We still got about 2 hours. Here's just a little recap. You could use this worksheet as you're getting into this. Of course, my bottom line and this SWOT, that's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's what else is available for them. You know, the things that can hurt you, the things that can help you. If you just make note of those, And then how am I going to open this? What am I going to do? And then how are we going to get a little more out of them? And then how we're going to end it up. A little worksheet there. How do y'all feel about these gambits? You like them? Did you learn anything? Good. Which one out of the 18 we looked at, which one did you like best?
Never say I'll speak the difference.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's the one when I did this, I said, whoa. As many times as I have fallen prey to that and actually said it. Never again will I do that. All right, let's look at some closing techniques. All these gambits, closing techniques, none of it is gonna matter if they don't want it. You got AIDA, what it's called, AIDA, attention. You got to get their attention. That may be just listing it on MLS, and they're looking through Zillow or Realtor.com, and they find it. Got their attention. Now you're going to get their interest with. You're going to do one picture of just the half bath and the toilet lit up. Is that all you're going to put in there? Is that going to get their interest? No, it's not. You're going to have the house cleaned, get the shrubbery cut, make sure the grass is cut, make the house look nice. That first picture is the only one a lot of people are going to look at. And if you got shrubbery going all the way up to the gutters, they're going to say, oh, they don't take care of this house. So there's your interest. You got to get their interest. You want to make them look at the next picture. And then they start looking at them and they say, oh man, I love this great room. Family rooms, which you should call it. Used to call them great rooms. But family sounds better. Look at this kitchen. Oh, I could work with this. This is so nice. And then you've got to get them to the action. The action is where you're going to use your gambits and your closing techniques. But if they're not already in this right here, they want it. If they don't want it, it doesn't matter how good of a salesperson you are. They're not going to buy it. So we got to get them to here before we can close them. In fact, you don't even start your closing until you're at least here. The interest is this the kind of family room you were looking for? Yeah. I'd like this. How about this kitchen? You like that? Can you imagine cooking Thanksgiving dinner in here for the whole family? You learn to use these little words to tug on their emotions. There it is. Got that. It's in the action phase that we're going to be working now. All right. There are 15 closing techniques we're going to look at. And you use different ones different ways. 1 through 15. You think you can just remember that list? No?
No.
You think I can help you remember it?
Yes.
You think I've already got a method for you to remember it?
Yes.
Help you remember it?
Yes.
Well, I do. I actually have one. It goes back to the rhyming words. One run, and you'll be able, once you've got this in your head, you'll be able to use this list for other things. You're going to go to the grocery store and you need to get bread, milk, and juice. Well, once you've got this down, you can tack these words on to whatever it is you have got to get. 1 run, 2 zoo. See how they rhyme? 3 tree, 4 door, 5 hive, 6 sick, 7 heaven, 8 gate, 9 wine, 10 den, 11 is the number 11, like on a football jersey, 12 is a shelf, 13 is hurting, 14 is sorting, and 15 is lifting. Y'all see how easy that was? I bet I could black this screen out and y'all can, what's 1?
Right.
2.
Zoo.
3. Tree. 4. door.
Door.
5, hive.
Hive.
6, y'all laughed at 6. Sick.
Sick.
7,
Heaven.
heaven. 8,
Gate.
gate. 9,
Wine.
wine. 10,
Den.
den. 11,
Number
11.
11.
12,
Shell.
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 13, hurting.
13.
14, sorting. 15,
Lifting.
lifting. See how easy that is? Let's tie those to something else. These are the ones we had here. Our list of 15 closing techniques. We got to know, now here are our closing techniques here. Here's how we can tie the one run to our closing technique. One run, you're going to run around a track. There's a racetrack in England called paddock. This is called the paddock close. That's why we're going to use the racetrack in England called paddock. It's where thoroughbred horses race. You're high strung. They run around there really fast and they're all excited and they're getting hit and they want to win. 2, zoo. We got a tugboat that's in the moat that runs around the monkey. Y'all been to Birmingham Zoo? Seen the monkey island there with the moat around it? Well, just picture a tugboat in that moat. Be a little tugboat. Little one, but it's a tugboat in the moat. 3 is a tree. There's a tree in your path. That won't stop you. We either hit it or go around it, but the tree won't stop you. 4, door. You can afford it, is our closing technique. So you're carrying money bags through the door. Let's review back up here. 1, run, that's a racetrack. You're going to run around the racetrack. 2, zoo. You've got the monkey island with the moat around it, and the tugboat is in the moat. 3 is a tree. The tree's not going to stop me. I'll go around the tree or I'll run over the tree, but the tree is not going to stop me. 4 is door. We're carrying our money bags. You can see you got big old money bags. Y'all seen them going in the bank with those money bags? Well, they're going through the door with the money bags. All right, look at some new ones here. 5, hive. You need to leave those bees alone. Leave the bees alone. The bees are in the hive. They're just fine. Leave them alone. Don't go there and hit the hive. The bees are going to come out and sting you if you hit the hive. 6, sick. You're in a hospital where everybody's sick and they say, remain silent. And you've seen the signs. Shh, be quiet. This is the intensive care. Turn your phones off. Be quiet. Shh, silence. 6, sick in the hospital where you got to be silent. 7, heaven. Y'all do know the contingencies to get into heaven. They're contingencies. They don't let anybody through the door. Like Peter's standing there he's got a list, kind of like Santa, checking it twice. You're not on the list. You didn't meet all the contingencies to get into heaven. 8, gate. That's the Ben Franklin close. We got let's see, it's a railroad crossing. Y'all seen those little arm gates that come down? Well, this one comes down and it's got $100 bills hanging on it. Well, you know whose picture's on a $100 bill? Ben Franklin. This is the Ben Franklin close. 7, I'm going backwards. 9 is a mistake. Remember 9, wine? It's a mistake to drink old wine. It's a mistake. Don't make that mistake. Drink the old wine. Be good. 10, den. That's your final objection. Why is the den door stuck? It won't open. the den door won't open. It's stuck. 11 is the number 11. This is the 11. Number 11 is, think of a quarterback, and this quarterback's holding a little puppy. We're going to have a picture of a puppy, but this was famous clothes too. 12, shelf. Got a little shelf up there. So 12 shelf, we're looking for a minor point of concession or agreement, I mean. We want to agree where that shelf is going. 13, hurting. You will be hurt if you don't assume the sale. We talked about this when we did our listing agreement. You want to go ahead and fill it out before you go there to do the listing appointment. That's called assuming the sale. They called you out there to list their house. You're going to go out there and say, well, why'd y'all call me out here? No, they called you to list their house. So go ahead and fill the paperwork out. Assume you're going there to get them to sign it. 14 is sorting. You're sorting your choices, your alternative choice. You're sorting through your choices down there. We're going to let them have the refrigerator. They want the privacy fence too. We got to sort through these things. We can't just throw them the whole laundry basket and go, you can have everything. Now we got to sort through these choices. And 15, last one, that's the return serve. That's lifting. You're lifting your tennis racket because they're going to ask you for something. Whack! You're going to send it right back to them.
Negotiating.
Yeah, something for something. All right, let's run through here. 1 is run, and the horse is running around the racetrack. 2 is zoo. The tugboat is in the moat in the zoo. 3, the tree. You can either hit it or go around it, but it's not going to stop you. 4, door. That you're carrying money bags through the door. You've got to get these mental pictures. You can't just remember words and numbers. You've got to have, just like we did when we did the T formula. You've got a mental picture of the T, and then you were able to put things in it. Same way here, we're going to get mental pictures of us carrying the money through the door. 5, hive. You need to leave the bees alone. Don't fool with the bees. They will sting you. 6, sick. You're in the hospital. You see the sign up there in the intensive care. It says, shh, be quiet. Don't talk. 7, heaven. There are contingencies to get into heaven. 8, gate. That's the railroad gate coming down. Got the $100 bills. Ben Franklin's picture on it. 9, wine. It's a mistake to drink old wine. 10, den. Why is this den door stuck? It's stuck. I can't make it open. 11, football 11, it's the little puppy. The quarterback is holding the puppy. You see his numbers there, you see him holding the puppy. 12, minor points. 12 is where 12 shelf. We want to agree where we're going to put this shelf. We want this wall, we want the shelf over on this wall. We're going to make an agreement where we're going to put it. 13, hurting. It's going to hurt you if you don't assume the sale. You drove all the way out there. You can have your feelings hurt if you get out there and say, why did I come out here? Oh, it was to get a listing. So that's going in. I've already got my papers filled out. I'm going to assume the sale, or I will be hurt if I don't use this technique. 14, sorting. We got a laundry basket with all our things that they're wanting. We got to sort through what we can do. We can give them the refrigerator or not, but that's a choice. We got to sort through these choices. 15 is lifting your tennis racket, because they have hit the ball to you, and that's coming. You're lifting your tennis racket up so you can slam it back to them, or just hit it real easy. Make it easy for them or make it hard. It's up to you when you slam that tennis racket. All right, y'all good with this? Okay. Well, you wasn't expecting this, were you? You thought you could go home. All right, here we go. We got 15 to run through here. Speaking of run, number 1, run. You've got a thoroughbred racehorse. You know, those things are high strung. They've run this race and they get through the race, they still want to keep running. They're just, they got to keep going. That's what they do. It's kind of like a greyhound dog. You can turn one of those loose and they don't make good pets because you open the door and they're gone. But the horse running around that track gets all excited, just like your client is going to do. You're in the negotiating phase here. We're talking thousands or 10,000s of dollars. We're talking serious stuff here. They are on edge. They're high strung. They're not thinking straight. They're not rational. They're emotional. So what you've got to do with this racehorse now, who is your client, you've got to walk them back around the track. And as you're walking around the track, you're reinforcing what we've already talked about. They're going to do this and you're going to do that. And let's just slow this thing down. And let's just walk around the track and talk about it. And as we walk around the track and we get all the way back, if they're still not on the same page with you, what are we going to do? We're going to walk them around the track again. We may have to walk them around the track 2 or 3 times before they finally settle down and say, oh, I see what's going on here. You're getting paid too much. But you got to calm them down. 1 run around the racetrack, calm them down. Walk them around. 2, zoo. Y'all seen this? These big old ships, oil tankers, the barges, they don't turn real well. They're coming into port here and they just can't come in full speed ahead. Let me make a right turn here real quick. No. And your buyer or seller is not going to run at full speed around the track and then stop or turn this way. You want them to go off this way and they're still wanting to run. You got to have the tugboat. That's little bitty movements. Because that's what the tugboat, it just moves it a little bit. We need a little yes here. We need some agreement here. That's what the tugboat's doing. It's get a little agreement that this big ship is going to move this way just a little bit. Now it's moving that way. It's going to be easier to get it on around here and get it pointed in the right direction. 2, zoo, the tugboat, around the monkey boat. More yeses. That's what you're after. You're after momentum. Open-ended questions is how you do this. Is this the kind of kitchen you were thinking about? Did you see that stainless steel gas burner? You're going to be able to really cook on that. How you feel about that? Get them to say, yeah, I like that. Yeah, that works for me. Constant little, just nudging them. You can't make them turn quick. You gotta ease them around there. 3, tree. That wouldn't stop you, would it? Would it? We're only $500 away from you getting the house you want. Is that $500 going to stop you from getting what you want? Y'all are both shaking your head. No, it won't stop me. No. So the tree is not going to stop someone who wants it. If we moved them through Ada, and they're in action now. You getting them from desire over into action. That's not going to stop you, is it? Just because there's a toxic dump next door, that's not going to bother you that much, is it? 3, tree. Don't let the tree stop you. 4, door. This is where you're appealing to the ego. Oh, well, this is new construction, and you've got a choice here. You can take the builder grade appliance package, or you can upgrade. Just for just $2,000, you can get the stainless steel package with that gas burner you want. Is that what you wanted? Gas burner? 5 eyes? Got the little water thing to fill your spaghetti bucket up? Can you imagine cooking spaghetti on this big old thing? Won't that be fun? You can afford it. What do you want to look at for the whole time you're going to stay in here? For how many years that's going to be? Would you rather look at these old white appliances that came from the used appliance store, or you want these stainless steel ones? Which one do you want?
Stainless.
You do! Well, you just said, yes, that's what I want. You got some more agreement. 4-door. Carrying the money bags. They got money. They can afford it. Don't let them talk themselves out of what they really want. Some people will be cheap on something and blow money on something else. You know this is what they want. They've already told you, what's really important to me is a big family room and a nice big kitchen. And I've always wanted stainless steel. Well, you can have that if you want it. Is that what you really want? We can make it happen. 5, hive. Remember the bees? You need to be away from the bees. This closing technique says you could have done a great job up to now. They're ready. Yeah, they're sending you buying signals. When can we set up closing? What days are they open? Tell me more about these appliances. You're sending you buying signals. An objection is a buying signal. You say, huh? An objection is a buying signal. They say, well, I just don't know if we can do it by then. That's an objection. Well, if we can make it happen by then, would that work for you? All right, well, it's a couple, and you've done your work. You've shown them all through the house, and they've sent you all these buying signals, but they haven't had a minute to talk yet. Now you're just gonna say, yeah, we'll take it, without consulting your partner? No, you better not. Even though you both know, yeah, this is what we want, this is what we want. You need to excuse yourself. I'll be right back. I've got to run out to the car and get the measuring tape so we can measure this gas range. I want to see how big it is. It just looks so big to me. I can't imagine how much you're going to enjoy cooking on this gas range. I'm going to run out to the car and get my measuring tape. I'll be right back. What you're doing is you're going to be away from them for a minute so they can talk. Because if they don't have at least a minute or two, say, honey, are you sure this is what you want? You sure now? So they can't talk like that in front of you. But if you'll get away from them, they'll just huddle up there and make a decision. Then, yeah, this is the one. Yeah, we've looked at 400 houses. I don't want to look at it anymore. This is the one with the gas grill, just like I want. So you come back in with your tape measure. Well, y'all got any more questions before we start the paperwork? And they're either going to say, this is not the one, or they're going to say, no, this is the one. I'm going to measure it. If you went out to get the thing to measure it, don't make yourself look crazy. You got to be away from them. You don't need to give them 30 minutes. Just 2 or 3 minutes. They've already on the same page. They just want to confirm with each other that this is the decision, the right decision for us. Sick. Y'all probably done this one. Everybody knows this technique. All right. Here's the everything we're going to do all the way down through here. Okay, we got that covered. We're going to have the stainless steel appliances, and we're got this, and here's the bottom line. Here's your final cost right here. Is that what you were expecting? I want to keep talking. I want to make sure that I've done my job of selling you on all the benefits. You don't sell the benefits, you sell, don't sell the features, you sell the benefits. You were talking about stainless steel, but you also, the benefit, oh, you're going to get to cook for your family. But once you've done all your work and you write down to the bottom line here, they've got to make a decision right here. Either sign this or we got to think about it some more. But when you get to that point, is this what you wanted? Shut your mouth. Don't talk anymore. If you say a word now, you blow the sale. Because the next thing that's going to come out of your mouth is a concession from you. You're going to start giving away stuff and they haven't even asked for it. They've made their decision. They're thinking about it just a minute to make sure, and they may look at each other and do that, and you say, I earned my money. And then they will sign it. But don't you say a word once you make your close. And the close was, here's your bottom line, is that what you wanted? Here's the pen. And then, because if you say anything right now, you blow the deal. The rule used to be the first person to speak loses. You don't want to be the one that loses. Because what you're going to be talking about is you're trying to figure out why they're not doing it. What else did they want? Well, we'll throw in a fence if you want that. They didn't ask for a fence. All you said. Sometimes you'll sit there for 2 or 3 minutes. I've done it. It's awkward. It is so awkward because you've been talking and talking and talking. And you get paid to talk. And it's awful to have to sit and be quiet. You want to push this thing on down the road. We're here. We're at the finish line. Let me just say one more thing and get you across. You said the one thing. Is this what you want? Ooh. That wasn't what I wanted. Okay. 5, hive. Be away from. Yeah. No, we were at 6, sick. 6, sick. You will be sick if you don't remain silent at this point. When you keep running your mouth and they say, well, let us think about it. You're just going to be sick because you're going to think back and say, Steve told me not to say anything else once I made my close. 7, heaven. You know, the contingencies to get into heaven, you got to do the right things and be good, and you're just not walking in because you just wanted in. There are reasons to get in. Every sales contract is going to have contingencies in it. It may be financing. It may be a home inspection. They may have a home to sell. They may need Uncle Henry to come look at the bowed walls in the basement that he saw on Zillow. Those are all things that are important to them. You can go ahead and close the sale now, even though we haven't dealt with these contingencies yet. We can go and say, look, you're not having to make a decision today. I really don't want you to make a decision today. I want you to be able to think this out and make sure all these things are done the way you want them done. So what we can do, though, to tie this up so nobody else can get the house that you want, let's go ahead and do the agreement. Don't call it a contract. Let's do the agreement. And it's going to be contingent. That means you can just walk away if you want to. It'll be contingent on you getting the financing, your home inspection coming back, and it'll be agreeable to you. If it's not, you can walk away. You're under no obligation. You got to sell your house? Well, don't worry about that. Get the one you want lined up. And then if yours doesn't sell, you don't have to buy this one. If you can take that decision that they don't want to make today, nobody wants to make a decision today that they can push down the road and make later. That's what you're doing here. You're taking today's decision, which is a major one, and you're just saying, you don't have to make that decision, but you really are making the decision. You're filling out the paperwork and you signed it. You're going to push that decision down the road and you can make it later. So that's our 7 heaven, the contingencies. That's a closing technique. Make the decision later. 8, gate. That's old Ben Franklin. This is called the Ben Franklin close. A lot of people know it as a T close, where you take a piece of notebook paper and take a piece of scrap paper. It just gets you a piece of paper. You can use a whiteboard. Draw a line down this whiteboard or your paper and say, all right, here's the pros to do this deal, here's the cons to do it. I put 2 pros here, but here's your decision process. You want to buy or you want to rent. If you buy, you've got pride of ownership, lower housing costs, building equity, establishing the community. Those are the reasons for you to buy this house. Or do you want to keep renting? Well, I can be at the lake while the owner's painting the house. Well, how many times the house got to be painted? No worries about the heat and the air conditioner replacement if I'm renting. Well, we can get a home warranty. No risk if you rent. Well, you do have a risk. The owner can go bankrupt. The owner can kick you out. The owner's going to come in and look how you're living every now and then. If they don't like it, they can tell you to leave. And you can move at any time. You can move at any time if you own it too. You can start renting it out. So, we got our pros and we got our cons. Which one would you rather do? Would you rather own or rent? Own. Okay, there we go. You helping them make that decision. Here's why not. And that's what you're doing. You're just leading them down a little path. And they're making their own decision. 9, wine. It's a mistake to drink old wine. This is the mistake of not making the decision now. You got to have a story. I have a story. When I was in my early 20s, we bought a house, and there was another house up not too far from us that was went on the market for sale. We're talking 1975 now. This house went on the market for $8,000. It was a house. It was one of those mill houses that the workers used to live in, but it was a nice, well-built house. $8,000. And my wife and I had just bought one. Now we're ready to get another one. We're going to be landlords. And we talked ourselves out of that one because everybody else said, oh no, you don't want to go into debt. Times are bad right now. You don't know what's going to happen. This is going on and that's going on and this political and that. And you don't. And we listened to them and we didn't buy that $8,000 house. We would have probably had to put $1,500, $1,600 down on it. We could have got that. We would have had a mortgage for a little over $6,000. What's the payment going to be on a $6,000 mortgage? Not much. I'm pretty sure the rent would have covered it. That was 1975. We didn't buy that house. Here this is 2020. That was what, 45 years ago. I'm pretty sure we'd have paid that mortgage off by now. And that house, I'm betting, well, let's just say it's just renting for $500 a month. 45 years of cash flow that we talked ourselves out of because we were afraid to make a decision. I don't want that to happen to you. Don't let these other people tell you, oh no, this is not the time to buy. There's never been a better time to buy than right now. Interest rates I don't ever remember interest rates being this low. Don't let other people scare you away from doing what you want to do. I convinced y'all. Y'all ready to go buy a rental house now. We're almost through. We're on number 10, 10, 10. There's your doorknob. You go over and reach that doorknob and it won't open. All right, you've been negotiating with these people and been working on it and nothing has worked. You got your little cheat sheet at it and you went down through all the closing techniques. You went over here and said, well, that's not working, let's get the negotiating out. And you went through every one of those and you've been through every one of these and you just cannot get them to sign the paper. What's wrong? They're not telling you something. Y'all remember Columbo?
Mm-hmm.
What would Columbo say? Sir, I just have one more question before I go. He's reaching for the doorknob. Y'all seen him do it. That's what he does. He's just defeated. I know you're the murderer, but I just can't figure out how you did it. If I can just figure that out, I'll put you in jail. So he goes, and the killer was over there thinking, whew, it's all over now. I'm relaxed. He's going. He's leaving me alone now. But just as Columbo grabs that doorknob, he said, sir, I just got one more question for you. What did we do wrong? So I'll know next time. What could we have done differently to make this deal work? What was it? Was it something we did? Something I said? Help me out here. What could we have done to make this deal work? All right, well, they're relaxed now. They've got rid of you. But you got one more question. That's your question. What are they going to say? They're going to give you the real reason. And it could have been something that you didn't see, didn't anticipate. It's probably going to be something about, we're not sure we can get financed. We don't have the money for a down payment. They didn't want to tell you those things. They don't ever want you to know really about their finances. But they're going to level with you now. Mm-hmm. We just weren't sure we could get financed. We really want the house. Mm-hmm. But we're just afraid. Everybody's told us now's not the time to buy. Market's fixing to crash. And we thought if we bought it and couldn't get financed, then it would bankrupt us. How you going to deal with that? You're going to help them get it financed. Mm-hmm. If that's the problem, we're going to figure out a workaround to make this happen. But you got to disarm them. Okay, I give up. We're not going to make the sale. I'm okay with that. But let me just ask you. One more question. What could we have done to make this deal work? Because they may have not told you the reason. Now they can tell you. 10, 10. Don't make the mistake of, no, it's a 10, 10's a doorknob. Mm-hmm. The doorknob's stuck. 11. Oh, so cute. That's so cute. That's so precious. This comes from a puppy, a pet store owner used to use this technique, so I'm told. Somebody would want the puppy. They'd be in there with their kids, children. Oh, this is the one I want. Oh, it's so pretty, it's so sweet. Oh, look at him. Oh, I want to take him home. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you take him home with you for the weekend. Mm-hmm. Oh, you will? We don't have to buy him first? No, I see how much the kids love him. I just want y'all to see if y'all love him and he'll and everything. It's going to be a good fit. Mm-hmm. I just want to make you happy. That's all I want to do, make you happy. How many of those people brought that dog back to the pet store?
None.
No. Y'all know about the internet. There's this thing called Facebook. Mm-hmm. How about you get a picture of these people in front of their new house or in their new house?
Whoa.
Get a picture of them with their house, and let's get this on Facebook. Y'all want to post this on Facebook? This is the house y'all want. Now they're gonna post it out on Facebook, and now everybody's gonna say, "Y'all moved in yet? Y'all moved in yet? Did y'all buy that house? That is such a wonderful house. I'd love to live there." It's hard for them once it's out there for them to say, "No, that just wasn't the one for us." Oh, but it was so cute. It was so precious. That's number 11. You know, there's a collar right there. 11 is the puppy clothes. The quarterback's holding a little puppy. 12, shelve. This is where we want to go from a little agreement to a major agreement. This is a trial close that you're doing here. As you walk down the path with them, asking for little agreements. Yes, this is the stainless steel package we want. Yes, we want a privacy fence out here. Yes, we want that. Yes. It's a little agreements. If you had your bookshelves in here, would you want them on this wall or this wall? Oh, I gotta make a decision. Now they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, this wall." Now you've got them moving the little tugboat. You just push them around there with your tugboat. So all these kind of fit together. It's not just, I got one closing technique I can use. No, you got a whole bag full of them. And you'll use them in combinations. Minor agreements. If we had a 12-inch shelf, where would you want it? 13, hurting. This is your assumptive close. If you don't assume the close, you're hurting yourself. Go ahead and fill out the listing agreement. Everything's in there. Assume you're going to make the sale. I'm going to get the listing. Just assume that. Why are you going out there if you don't think you're going to get it? Oh, I'm not the best salesperson. I just don't know if I can do this. Oh no, it's just so hard. But no, you stand up straight and you fill out your paperwork and you go there and you talk to them, and when you go in, don't just shove those papers in there and say, "Sign this." Tell me about this house. This is so beautiful. I see you got crown molding. Oh, I love those light fixtures. Where'd you get those? Thrift store? No. You're going to praise them. Oh, this is wonderful. This is going to be so, I'm just going to enjoy showing this so much. Then we get around to the paperwork. Assume you're going to make the sale. 13 is hurting. Your pen, you stuck the pen through the listing agreement. It hurt the listing agreement. You gotta have memory techniques to hold these things in. Y'all been through the whole course now. Y'all know I'm big on mnemonics. We got to have a picture. Almost through. We're on 14, sorting. That's where we're making an alternative choice. I had somebody use this on me yesterday. When we were talking about the Christmas party. She said, "Would you rather do it on the 7th or the 14th? That's what she said. Ask me. Alternative close.
You right.
Yeah, alternative close on me. You want to do it on the 7th or the 14th? Okay. Good for you. Oh, and I said, "That was great. That was alternative close. We're going to be actually going over there tomorrow night." You give them a choice. Don't say, "Can you meet me one day? How about Saturday, 3 or 4 o'clock?" They said, no, we got soccer at 4. How about Sunday afternoon at 4? Can you do that? Yeah, that'll work. Give them a couple of choices. Don't say, "How about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, anytime between noon and 5. You need to narrow it down. Alternative choice is what that is. You're sorting. 14, sorting. You got a laundry basket there that you're sorting your choices in. Saturday at 3 or 4. And the last one we were looking for, that return serve, we mentioned this already. When they ask you for something, what are you going to do? Ask for something in return. That's return here. You're lifting your tennis racket. They serve that one to you. Here it comes. What am I going to do? Am I just going to turn around and walk away? No, I'm not. I'm going to pick my racket up and hand it back to them. I'll do that. You do that for me. I'll do this for you. You do that for me. I'll do. We just go back and forth, and we'll get an agreement. Now we don't want to. I lose, you lose. Y'all aren't gonna do that. You're gonna I win, you lose, and you lose, I win. Those are not good choices either. We've got to get up in this one. I win, you win. Y'all have heard that. Win-win. If both people don't win, somebody's not gonna be happy, and then the buyer's gonna get cold feet. There we go. This is the last little slide. These are our pressure points that we got to be aware of. Time, that's a bad one, depending on which side you're on. If they're under time pressure, like that,
Yeah.
if we're under time pressure, we don't want them to know it. That's going to be something we're going to keep this in. We got our new jobs in Wisconsin starts in the next month or 2 months from now. We're really getting to the end of where we can sell this and still take the new job. They don't need to know that, because if they do, they're going to slow everything down. More information you have, the better you are. You want to research, somebody wants you to help them with something, sell or buy, you want to research, you want to know all you can know to help them make a better decision. And sometimes you've got contentious issues like the fence. They really want you to put a fence up. Well, let's just come back to that issue. We know it's there. We know you want a fence. Let's see what else. Let's see what all we're in agreement on, and see if we can work the numbers and get you a fence. But for right now, I really can't say we can give you a fence until we know everything else that's going on. We got to have some more information. And then the stalemate. Okay, sometimes you're just gonna butt heads, and I'm not budging. Take it or leave it. Well, for right now, leave it. Let it simmer, let it think. I've had people come back to me a week later, 10 days, 2 weeks later, and say, well, we've thought about it. Here's what we can do. And then we got an agreement. Yeah, just don't assume it's dead. I mean, I had one that I thought it was dead. It was an investor buying a little house out in Irondale, and we'd been going back and forth, and they'd made their final offer. Take it or leave it. We didn't take it. And I thought it was dead. And about 2 weeks later, the agent called me, said, oh, they're back in town. They want to look at that house again. Okay. And they bought it. But I thought it was dead. But here, don't assume any deal's dead. All right, folks, that concludes negotiating. Did y'all have fun?
Yes.
Yeah, more fun than the other classes. We could stay another 3 hours and do some more math. No, don't want to do more math. Y'all want to negotiate about that? How about we split the difference and stay an hour and a half and do math? No? You don't do that either?
No.
All right, that's the end of class tonight.